vehicles have all it takes to be iconic. From sporty curves and breathtaking performance, they offer driving pleasure at every turn. And to offer BMW the tribute it deserves, Motorfest welcomes the spokesperson of BMW Group Classic. Let's meet him together.
Hello, my name is Mark. I'm the spokesperson of BMW Group Classic. If you buy a BMW, in my perspective, you want to drive, you want to feel the drive, you want to have a sheer driving machine. You feel it and you love it and you don't want to stop it because it's so cool. It's always on the edge, but you have to be able to handle it.
Three legendary letters. BMW. A playlist to discover what ultimate driving feels like. Let's see what's coming up. What an impressive sports car you're driving. It certainly sets the tone for the first event. But that's not the first vehicle you're going to drive in this race. Motorfest and BMW have something else in mind. Something truly special. You're about to discover one of the most legendary cars in BMW history. It's so famous that it literally earned a place in a museum.
Talking about the most favorite car is very difficult because the heritage is so amazing. But if you ask me for my personal opinion, it should be a BMW 3.0 CSL. And it was the very first car, the BMW Motorsport GmbH, tuned for a professional racing. Every facet is very interesting and amazing. It was, for example, the most successful touring car of the 1970s. It was the very first car to wear the famous M stripes. So this is the real starting point of the whole legacy of BMW M. This is such a great heritage and legacy.
Let's do this. Eyes up, stay focused, and put in the best possible performance. You gotta live up to this car's reputation. It's a legend, you know. Okay. It's probably something you hear quite a lot at Motorfest, I know, but you gotta believe me. After BMW became popular in the 60s, their cars were more and more used by private motorsport teams, but they still didn't have their own racing division. So they started one in 1972. They called it BMW Motorsport, simply BMW M now. And that was their first car, the 3.0 CSL. And I mean, what a car! First off, she's absolutely stunning. Look at the iconic M colors on her body. Look at her shapes. Look at the perfection of her design. And more importantly, she's so light and powerful, she won 6 consecutive European Championship titles. Yeah. She's the most impressive of her times, and I can't believe how lucky you are to feel her in action on such a beautiful racetrack. Oh, and I'm Anna, by the way. Sorry, I forgot to introduce myself. I've been racing professionally for 10 years now. More if you count the karting when I was a teen. As you may have guessed, I have a soft spot for BMW. That's why I've been asked to host this playlist. I've never raced with them officially, though. But life's long, so who knows? You didn't expect to ride a motorcycle for the second lap, did you? But actually, bikes are a really important part of BMW history. Did you know the first ground vehicle they ever built was actually a motorcycle? It was in 1923. Yes, I know I sound nerdy right now. We call it superbike. Superbikes are extremely powerful, technologically advanced motorcycles that are relatively light for the speed they can reach. They're designed for both track and road use. And yours is the 2015 edition of the S1000RR. It's still pretty great, as you can see for yourself, but since then, they've released many more powerful editions. BMW M Hybrid V8. What a beast. Released in 2023, this car has been built for endurance races, such as the 24 Hours of Le Mans. It's my area of expertise. has to strike the right balance between performance and stability. They must go as fast as possible and yet be able to hold up with the team. And the same goes for you. If you're the racer inside the car, you must stay at the top of your game for a very long time, while constantly making strategic choices. But today we're only doing a short race, so never mind. Just focus on being the best. The Hybrid V8 will do the rest. Since the BMW's history, a real time travel.
CSL was the big surprise of the first event. Did you enjoy driving it? I'm sure you did. Let's go to Maui, where the rest of the playlist will take place. Everyone has a favorite brand. In fact, Motorfest initially wanted her to host a more motorsport-oriented playlist, but she refused, arguing that BMW is actually all about motorsport and performance. That sounds promising.
BMW 3 Series is the core product of the BMW AG. It's all we are talking about. And the BMW M3 E30 is the peak development of this whole series. If you talk about the sport evolution, it's a very special car. It was much more lighter than the normal BMW M3. It has more horsepower. And it was only available in 2 colors. So these are all aspects which make the car very special.
The M3, we're touching on an important part of BMW's history, the 3 Series, the face of the brand. So, as you may know, since the early 70s, BMW has been dividing its models into 8 different series. The 3 is without question the most popular of them all. The one we're driving is the E30. It's the second in this prestigious line, and an instant hit in 1982. Not just for car enthusiasts, no, but for the mass market as well. They sold over 2 million. That's huge, especially since they weren't cheap. But this car deserved it. It truly did. For sure, it was the most powerful sedan available at the time. So, when BMW Motorsport needed to put a new car on the track, it was obvious they would create one based on the E30 and make it even better. And that's how we got the first M3 ever. We spoke earlier of the success of the Group 1 SL, but it was nothing compared to what this car achieved. She's simply the most successful touring car in motorsport history. She has more than 1,400 victories. Yeah, I promise you. She won everything. Rallying, endurance racing, but also BMW's most beloved tournaments. The DTM, the German Touring Car Championship. The funny story is that BMW had to build 5,000 free legal cars and sell them to the public just so they could compete. And they did it. But they were skeptical at first because they thought it would never sell. Of course, they were wrong. They sold 3 times more than expected. Whatever the model, the E30 has left its mark on a generation. She's loved by underground communities for tuning, for drifting, and you can even see her on album covers and rap videos. She's a cultural phenomenon.